Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us, and welcome to our webinar, Embrace Your Customers' Mobile Addiction and Make More Money. This is going to be geared towards the sports and events and schools markets. So if you're photographing sports and events and or schools, you're going to get some great information here. First, I'll give you a quick background on the partnership between Miller's and CaptureLife. Miller's has been working with CaptureLife for the past year to integrate a new digital fulfillment solution into all the ordering systems and connecting all of this into our ability to create more reorders for you. We now live in an age of every consumer having a smartphone, and as you know, many of those consumers being completely glued to them, so we're really excited to be bringing this new offering to you. I'll start off with some introductions. My name's Paul Rotter. I'm the marketing director at Miller's, and I've been with Miller's for 6 years now. I've been very involved in the Miller's integration with CaptureLife, and I'm looking forward to sharing the details of how it works with all of you. Now I'd like to introduce you to my co-hosts for the webinar. First, the VP of Business Development for CaptureLife, Jeff Eckerly. Jeff co-founded CaptureLife and has been working with photography businesses of all sizes to incorporate CaptureLife's digital delivery benefits into their businesses. He has a deep background in building software platforms, but more importantly, as you'll hear, the CaptureLife solution was built from the perspective of a parent who buys professional photography. Also joining us to co-host today is TW Woodward, Customer Success Manager at CaptureLife. TW has been running a youth sports photography business and lab for nearly 20 years and has a wealth of knowledge on how CaptureLife digital delivery model can benefit sports and events and schools photographers. So as for our agenda, what we're going to cover today on this webinar is the opportunity for you, the social mobile consumer, the new digital experience that you'll get through CaptureLife, how to make more money, how it saves time, and how you can get started today. And another thing I want to address before we get started is that there's a questions panel that you can access through the webinar platform. If you have questions, feel free to ask them there. I'll be able to see them as we go through the webinar. A lot of them, I'm sure, will be answered as we move through the topics that we're going to be discussing. But for anything that we don't discuss over the course of the webinar, we'll also have a Q&A session towards the end where I'll be able to help get these questions answered. So again, if you do have questions, use that question panel, and I'll be able to read them as we go through the webinar. But without further ado, let's get going. I'll turn things over to Jeff here and let him take it away.
Hey, thank you, Paul, and thanks to all of you for taking time out of your day for this webinar. Our goal here is for you to walk away fired up about the new opportunity that Miller's has created for you around digital delivery. By the end, you should understand how it can save you money, make you more money, and help you win more business from schools and sports leagues. To get started here, I want to talk a little bit about consumers today. You know, we all know they live on their smartphones. What's interesting about being in a school and sports photography industry is that you actually have to serve two very different types of customers. You've got to serve the school decision makers and the sport association volunteer board members who want to give you that contract. But you also are serving the actual parents who pay you the money. So we want to focus on those parents today, and they want to share on social media. They want to save digital memories. They want to, be on their phones because that's where they are. And that's really what we need to do as a photography industry is to get content to them there. Now, I'm going to use my personal story just to kick this off a little bit about why we started CaptureLife as an example of this. So this is my refrigerator at home. And about 3 years ago, my wife and I were looking at this and saying, wow, our kids have, changed so much over the years, and from 2008 up until now, we've purchased sports photography 50 times. There's 50 magnets there, and I then went around the house and found all the school portraits that were in drawers and frames, and all the family portraits and Santa Claus pictures, and we had actually purchased professional photography like 90 times over the course of our children's lives. Yet the thing that hit us is that we didn't have the digital image for any of these. And I don't know if I was just too cheap to buy the digital image or whatever the reason was, it kind of hit us like, why is that? In this day and age, when everybody has a smartphone, why have I bought all this professional photography and I don't have the digital image? And that really kind of kicked us off on this journey of CaptureLife to really think about that from an industry perspective. And we talked to all kinds of photography businesses and really went out there and tried to figure out, what's the technological barrier to kind of helping photography businesses make more money from digital images and give parents what they want. Because, even if you are selling digital today, it's probably being done and delivered in some manner that creates more work for the consumer. Whether it's a USB drive, CDs, email, a website, gallery, you're forcing the consumer to go get the image or try to find a place where they still have a CD drive to get that image, somewhere where they can use it, maybe on their phone. And even if the consumer goes to that effort, it's still a dead-end transaction. What I mean by that is that you're giving them the image, and then they're off, doing whatever they want with that. You don't know if they're buying more prints. You don't know if they're putting it on Shutterfly. You don't know what they're doing with it. And that just seemed like something that we could solve. Because what we found in our research is that consumers will pay more for a modern digital mobile experience. They want digital bundled with prints. They want it to be very easy to share. And if we keep them connected to the photography business and the lab through a mobile device and through that content, we can make it easy for them to buy more in the future. So the solution that we want you to understand and hopefully embrace here is that if you bundle prints with the right digital experience, you can make more money and actually deliver the consumer what they really want. So this is what CaptureLife does. CaptureLife, think of it as the mobile social commerce platform for photography businesses that want to reach parents where they are on their smartphones. As you create content and upload it to Miller's, Miller's then can use CaptureLife in our integrations to deliver those digital images right to the customer's phone. From inside our platform, the customer shares that album with other people and invites them in a private photo sharing app kind of way. And that allows social sharing to happen where now it's not just the parent that you sold the image to that can potentially be a customer or enjoy your content. Anybody that the parents invite are now potential customers for you. We also do all kinds of digital proofing around content that maybe hasn't been purchased yet. And we also then are able to, of course, connect into additional print orders, which is all tied into MPix, and I'll demo that in a little bit here. And then lastly, because they keep the content connected on their phone to you and Miller's, we're able to hit them with MPix promotions through push notifications on their phones during certain promotions to drive more traffic long after the sale. And that's all about ending that notion of today's business model is more of a dead-end transaction. We really want to create that connection between your customer and you using the content that's living on their phone or their account or wherever they're keeping their photos. So what I'd like to do now is just kind of start to walk you through a demo of how this works. I'm first going to show you a few slides, and then we'll get into the mobile app and web version of this. So for starters, when you are having your customers fill out a form, whether it's sports or school, and they pick a package that includes CaptureLife, a CaptureLife digital delivery, then they will, just by you processing that package through Miller's, they will get a text message and an email that has a link in it. And when they tap that link, if they're on a mobile device, it will take them into the app if they have the CaptureLife app. If they don't have the CaptureLife app, it takes them to the App Store. And then as soon as they download the app and get it onto their phone, there's no password or anything. We've passed that all through, so it's very frictionless. They're instantly into looking at their image. Now, in this case, 5 images were delivered in the album. And once they see that, they're going to see your brand. This ABC Photography is just a generic brand, but it's your brand that comes through as the splash screen. And then you'll see as they tap into that and look at the image, you see the brand at the bottom. From there, they can share it. they hit the print store, you see the MPix print store and so forth, and we're able to create MPix products right from the images that you delivered. And then once each album is delivered into a CaptureLife account, it builds on a timeline. I'll demo and show you this. But understand that what we are creating is an account for this consumer to receive albums from you on an ongoing basis over time, so that all the photos you take of them, whether it's sports or school or whatever, build in this account for that consumer and makes this a sticky place where they continue to receive more and more purchases in the future. So what I'm going to do now is just hop over here to my phone, and we're going to see how this kind of works in real time. So you saw that example where I received the text message. This is a customer who already has a couple of different albums in their account. There's a wedding, then a football tournament, school portraits, softball tournament. Well, let's say this is the school example. So I tap in, and I see those images. I can look here, and I see, there's 1, 2. I can swipe through, see the branding of your business at the bottom. If I want to share it, I hit the share button, and I can instantly access my contacts here. I want to invite Jeff, and then I want to invite my mom. How's that sound? Then I hit share, and now that delivery has been sent to her and Jeff as a text message, and then they tap the link, and then they're in, and now they're potential people viewing the albums and potentially buying things. I can also share it on social media by hitting more sharing options. And what that's going to do is bring up any social platforms I have tied to my phone. If I hit tap on Facebook, it allows me to post right from there. I can text it. I can save it to my camera roll. I can download it. I can do whatever I want to do. From a print store standpoint, this is where the MPix integration comes in. And Paul will talk about later, how this is a way for you to earn more money off of second orders. In here is the standard MPix print store. You see a promotion at the bottom. I'm able to, let's just shop for prints. When I do that, you're going to see the photos from this album are available to me to select and put into an MPix order right from here. So that's the MPix print integration. Now, as a consumer or a parent, maybe I took a great picture the first day of school, or I took a picture at home on the day I sent him to school picture day. Well, I can add my own photos into here too. So if I hit add photos, that would go right to my camera roll, and then allow me to put in, user-generated content. And of course, I could print that through MPix as well, right from this album, which would, credit. You'd get the credit for that as a photography business. So that's, a school example. Here's a sport example. Similar, we've got a number of photos here that have been delivered through the CaptureLife and Miller's integration. If I hit the plus sign here, I can share right from here and share the whole album just like I did before, and ultimately, swipe through these photos in the same way. So hopefully that gives you a sense of how the consumer experience is from an app. And I wanted to just point out here the web version of this. So you don't have to be on a computer or on a mobile phone to receive content. You can get albums delivered into a web timeline like this. And what I'm showing here is an example of where you can deliver multiple albums over time to the same parent. So in this case, we have small baby portraits that were maybe delivered a long time ago. And as we scroll down the timeline, here's the first youth sports picture, team shot, and an individual. And there's another one, I think hiding there is first grade. So we're creating this place for the parent for them to receive photography purchases over time. And you can see the years at the bottom. I'm now zooming into time, so it's spreading things out. There's kindergarten soccer. Now here's an example of Halloween. So in this case, I failed to mention the mobile app, but you can create your own private group photo sharing albums as a parent. So the collection here is maybe 3 or 4 moms took these different shots on Halloween that didn't involve any professional photographer. But from the parent's perspective, this is an important memory. So they wanted the memory event on their timeline. Well, you as a photographer can deliver right into that timeline. Here again, some more sports. And you'll see that over time, you get this collection of some of the most important memories. And that's really an added benefit of not just delivering the digital image once and staying connected, but really giving that parent a place where they now understand that every time they buy photography from you, that your images are landing there and going to be there for them in the future. So what I'd like to do now, my slide will advance, is introduce TW Woodward. So you heard a little bit about TW from Paul, but I'll just expand on that a little bit. He's the customer success manager at CaptureLife, and he's been working with all kinds of photography businesses as they've ramped themselves up on CaptureLife. He comes with 18 years of experience leading a large sports and school photography business here in the Twin Cities, where CaptureLife is based. And he's got a lot of experience being responsible in a business like yours for sales, photography operations, running the print lab, and doing all kinds of things that you guys do every day. Most importantly, TW has a passion for listening to what parents want when it comes to photography. And so we're thrilled to have him now on board full-time at CaptureLife. He's a resource that's here to help you, and you can reach out to him anytime at this email. So I'm going to turn it over to TW now.
Thank you, Jeff and Paul. As Jeff said, my name is TW Woodward, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the photo industry, leading a high-volume youth sports photography business in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area. SportStar is a vertically integrated photography company, meaning that I was managing photographers, data entry, customer service, print lab, business operations, and the technical systems. To give you an idea of volume, at seasonal peak, we ran between 2,000 and 3,000 orders per day. I'm a technology geek at heart, and early on, I met Jeff and Scott as they were thinking about CaptureLife and developing the platform. And their ideas really caught my attention. I knew that they had nailed this customer relationship that was missing between the photographers and their customers. I'm excited to join the CaptureLife team because of the platform and the way that it's going to help your business. And so I'd like to spend the next few minutes discussing how CaptureLife can transform your business and the relationship that you have with your customers. So I like to talk about the big three at CaptureLife, and these are the three things that we can do to help your business save money, make more money, and win new business. So to start off, I'd just like to mention this saving money. So your CaptureLife digital delivery through Miller's costs $1.75 per delivery. So if we look at that compared to what you're paying at Miller's to deliver one image on a CD, you can see that just replacing the CD on your order form already saves you money. And if you've created CDs before, you know the pain of production. At our facility, it meant basically stopping the presses, finding those images, finding an envelope, printing a label, and it really was a very inconvenient process. CaptureLife opens the doors to a new relationship, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. The next step in this process is how does CaptureLife make my photography business money? And what we'd like to talk about is how to bundle CaptureLife into your packages. Keeping in mind that parents still want printed products, but they also want to have that image on their smartphone where they can share it with family and friends. So CaptureLife will help tackle that problem in that disconnect by getting parents what they've always purchased, the packages, and then also receiving that image on their phone where they're consuming it today. The interesting aspect of delivering this photo to a parent's phone is when the social networking starts happening with that image. And mom or dad shares that image out to their parents, grandma and grandpa get it, and grandma and grandpa might be interested in buying a product that mom and dad didn't even think about. And there you have an additional sale, and then grandma and grandpa share the image on down to aunts and uncles. And you start to get the picture of how the CD was a dead-end transaction where once it was delivered, it could have gone anywhere. You lost track of that product, and you lost track of any additional revenue. Well, with CaptureLife delivered to a parent's smartphone, those images are always connected to a print store and additional revenue. So the final aspect of how this makes you more money, and this is equally important, is CaptureLife's messaging system inside the app. So you imagine coming up for fall photos, we take our school photos, and the photos the print packages are delivered in October, the digital images go out, and then using CaptureLife's messaging platform, around Christmas time, your customers can get pinged with a little message that says, hey, do you remember Brady's school photo? It would look wonderful on a Christmas tree ornament or on a Christmas card. And right then and there, you've got an additional sale based on the CaptureLife messaging platform.
TW, I just wanted to jump in and say one other point here. This notion of bundling with digital and print too, as parents we've talked to and photography businesses we've worked with, we're seeing the ability to increase the perceived value of the total product and package, which means you can raise prices. And that's something that we want to make sure you're grabbing when you think about this, that when you put CaptureLife on your order forms as a part of a package, you have increased that perceived value. Parents value the digital image, and they will recognize this. And TW's got some slides. He's going to show some forms later on that'll hit that point a little harder, I think.
Yep, thanks, Jeff. That's true. And in the next couple slides here, we will look at an instance of an order form where we've added that, and we'll see how that adds value to the packages. We'll also, in 2 slides from now, we're also going to talk about how CaptureLife can win you new business. And this is really important because of, as we all know, going into, say, for youth athletics, you go into a board meeting with a group of volunteers, and oftentimes I found that it was really hard for us to differentiate ourselves when you had 3 other photography companies following you with a similar message. And when you add CaptureLife to your offering, we're going to see how this creates a really dynamic and different message that will set your photography business apart. So this is an example order form where we've added CaptureLife digital content delivery to the packages. As Jeff was just talking about, this raises the perceived value of these packages. Again, keeping in mind that parents want the prints, but they also want to be able to engage their family and friends on social media. What we've done here that's important, and I want to point this out, is under the a la carte selections and the specialty items down in the lower half of the form, we assigned digital delivery a price. In this case, we assigned it $30. Now, this could be replacing your CD on your current form or any type of other type of digital processing that you have on your form. But what we need to do here is we need to assign this value so that when customers make their calculations on these packages, they can break it down to price and say, wow, this is a really good deal. I'm getting what I want with my prints.
Yeah, and certainly if your market, is such that you're getting $20 instead of $35 for package A, you just adjust the CaptureLife digital delivery price at the bottom there accordingly. This is just to be an example, in some cases.
Yep. If we move on to this next order form, now this is a different situation completely, and this is the form that I was talking about that would help differentiate your photography business from the other photography businesses that may be presenting at a board meeting or in front of a school panel. In this case, we've included digital delivery on every order form. And if you look at that second arrow, it says that digital delivery is included free for every order over $20. Now, that price there, you would want to have near your average sale or above your average sale so that you use CaptureLife to drive parents to what they want, which is that digital image, and use it to really raise that average sale on every order form. And so keep in mind, in this case, we're adding digital delivery to every form for every parent that's ordered over a certain amount. And if you look below again in the a la carte selections, we did assign a value. You always want to do that so parents understand what the value that they're getting for this. You know, if you say free, sometimes that's a little misleading when actually it does have a value. And in this case, this is a very valuable product. Now, what I would do with this order form, if we go back to the instance of a sports volunteer board that might meet once a month, and I'm in line with 3 other photographers because they're making the decision for the year on who their photographer is going to be. And oftentimes, I think we all know this, what it would come down to, you'd leave after you made this spectacular presentation, you explained everything, you had everybody laughing and smiling, and you knew they were on board. But then that board convenes, they meet a month later, they're going to make a decision, and all they have in front of them, say, is an order form. And oftentimes they would drill down to price because there was no way to distinguish the form that it had any other value other than some sort of lowest price. Well, in this case, you can really set yourself apart by saying, hey, I'm going to give a digital image to every single parent that makes an order. This is different, guys. And you can leave that message with that youth group and really set yourself apart from other photography businesses.
And if you do, you know, in the sales situation, this would work for a school principal and staff as well. If you happen to, and we can show you how to do this, send your own digital delivery message to the principal or to the sport association board members and have that show up on their phone. They get the text message, they tap the link, they get the image, and they see it right there. And you say, look, I'm going to give this for all your parents. It's in every package. You know, and then they've got something tangible on their phone. They've experienced something that, again, differentiates you from what other photography businesses might be doing that you're competing with for the contract.
I love it. Yes, this will set you apart. And once they experience CaptureLife on their phone, they will understand the difference between you and other photography businesses. That's it on my end. Again, I'm on board with CaptureLife, and I'm here to help photographers in your situation that want to use CaptureLife and get it on your order form. So please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'm excited to move forward. And now I'm going to hand it off to Paul.
Thanks, TW. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I think one of the really important things that we want to keep pointing out here is how easy this process is and that there's no extra effort. So really, the best part of digital delivery with CaptureLife is that the process is so easy. Since it's fully integrated into Miller's ordering through Remote Suite Plus Sports and Events and Remote Suite Plus Schools, you can fulfill your print and digital orders at the same time. It's also a time saver. You don't have to worry about putting images onto a CD, DVD, or USB, or about having to upload images somewhere else after you enter your order. Plus, there's the added bonus of color correction. Just like we do with your print orders, we'll color correct images that are digitally delivered through CaptureLife, and that's already included in the price, so you don't have to pay extra for color correction. We'll color correct those images before they're delivered to your customers. Now, I'm going to move on to showing you an example of how CaptureLife digital delivery works within Miller's ordering software. Since this webinar is geared towards sports and events and schools photographers, we'll focus on Miller's Remote Suite Plus Schools and Miller's Remote Suite Plus Sports and Events. So the option that you see on your screen right now is from Miller's Remote Suite Plus Schools. And this option allows you to digitally deliver the image of a selected pose when ordering through the software. So first, you select to add single image CaptureLife upload. Then you drop in your image, which is what you see here on your screen. You'll enter your client's name, phone number, and email address so CaptureLife can digitally deliver the images to your client via text to their phone and via email. So as long as you give us those things for every delivery you want, we can send it straight to your customer's phone, straight to your customer's email so that they can access it wherever it makes the most sense for them. Now we'll move on to a list of FAQs. First, how much commission do I make and how do I earn it? So you'll get 10% commission on orders your clients place through the MPix print store in the CaptureLife app using the images that you've shared. The commission will show up in your loyalty program dashboard on the Miller's website when the MPix order ships to your client, and you'll be paid once a month at the beginning of each month for the previous month's activity. Second question, will clients with whom I share digital images see MPix branding in the CaptureLife app? And you had a chance to see this a little bit earlier when Jeff was going through the demo, but yes, your clients will have the standard MPix ordering experience in the CaptureLife app where they can order MPix prints, cards, wall art, and more products, where they will see MPix pricing and they will see the MPix logo and MPix branding. Third question, how does CaptureLife delivery help me protect my digital images? So if you give your clients a CD or DVD or a USB with their images on it, they can take those images anywhere they want to have them printed. Not only do you earn no additional money when they order elsewhere using your images, which is the dead-end sales process that Jeff was talking about a little bit earlier, you also have no control over the print quality if they are to take it somewhere else, say a big box store or something along those lines. That's where the MPix print store in the CaptureLife app comes in. You can rest assured that the orders your client places through MPix will be printed with the same care and attention to detail that you've come to expect from your orders at Miller's. And we've had it asked a few times in previous webinar sessions that we've done, can't clients who download their images from a CaptureLife delivery still have them printed elsewhere? And I believe we actually had that asked in the questions panel in this very webinar too. So the answer to that is yes, they can, but you'll find more often than not, they opt for the convenience of ordering directly from the app. It's a much more convenient process for them to just go straight into the print store and order from the app, which is where you'll get a commission, than it is for them to download those images and take them somewhere else to be printed. Fourth question, how is this service different from Zenfolio and other online galleries or hosting sites? Well, CaptureLife is meant to be a simplified process for you to deliver digital image files to your client, but still participate in the second wave of print sales from that client. Once you've delivered the digital files through CaptureLife, you can be hands-off while your customers access their images through the app while still making money on reorders. And the last question, is this available now? The good news is, yes, it is. And Jeff, if you want to slide over to that next slide, you can get started with this today. First, if you aren't already registered for the Miller's Loyalty Program, sign up today at millerslab.com/CaptureLife. So the URL for that is up on the screen right now, millerslab.com/CaptureLife. Make sure to fill out your W-9 and ACH information. This is super important in this process because this allows you to be paid when your clients order through the MPix print store in the CaptureLife app using the images you delivered digitally. If you don't fill out your W-9 and ACH through the loyalty program, we can't pay you commissions. So you'll want to make sure that you do that first. And once you've done that, you're ready to start with digital delivery. The first way you can take advantage of this, and this is going to be most applicable to everyone who's on this webinar right now because we're focused on the sports and events and schools photographers here, and a lot of that ordering is going to be done through Miller's Remote Suite Plus Sports and Events and Miller's Remote Suite Plus Schools, is you can take advantage of this CaptureLife digital delivery straight through Miller's Remote Suite Plus Schools and Remote Suite Plus Sports and Events. Select to add CaptureLife digital delivery to deliver the image of the selected pose you upload, and this option is $1.75 per pose. Now, I know that we have sports and events and schools customers who will order in some of our other software platforms. So you might be placing a regular print order in Rose, or you might be ordering in Designer Plus, or Remote Suite Plus Prints, or Remote Suite Plus Proofs. You can use CaptureLife digital delivery with those software options as well. When you place an order, select to add digital delivery of your printed images. This opens a dialog box where you can enter your client's name, phone number, and email address so CaptureLife can digitally deliver the images to your client via text to their phone and via email. And this option is $3 per order, and it digitally delivers all of the images included in your order. Really, however you use the CaptureLife option, you can speed up your digital delivery workflow, you can provide a better digital experience for your customers, and you can start making more money on your digital deliveries. Like I said, you'll earn a 10% commission on orders your clients place through the MPix print store in the CaptureLife app using the images that you've delivered. So here really quickly, we've gotten a couple of questions that we haven't yet addressed over the course of this webinar that I wanted to bring up and have them answered for you. So the first question that we got was, what's the solution for team group photos? I don't want to include those because parents will realize only one of them need to purchase this and share that photo and order smaller packages without the team photo. So Jeff, TW, can you speak to that and what you've seen over time with how people have used CaptureLife?
Yeah, I've seen it actually both ways. I've seen people that just choose to deliver the individual photo, and then they don't deliver the team photo. And I've also seen people that have said, yeah, maybe I'm concerned about that, but I'm going to deliver the team photo anyway. And that's been successful too. I know there's the fear that people will do that, and maybe they will in this specific scenario, but thus far I haven't heard of anybody that's delivered the team photos with individuals and then changed because that was happening. And TW, you may have experience from this with your past at SportStar.
I have direct experience with this, and as a matter of fact, we started by only offering individual photos, but we fielded so many customer service complaints that we just decided to add the team photo. That said, there was nothing that indicated that our average sale might have dropped or that changed any kind of dynamics with how parents were ordering photos.
And Paul, while you're looking at questions, there's one thing I forgot to say that I wanted to pass on to the group. After this webinar completes, we're going to send a digital delivery to each of you as kind of a sample. So you'll get to experience this, what a parent would experience. Now, we don't have your mobile phone numbers. We just have your email addresses. So you're only going to get this through email. Most of the time, the most effective way to deliver this is through mobile phone number, through a text message. But you'll get an email. If you open that email and click the link from a computer, it will take you to the web version. If you click that link in an email from your mobile phone, it will take you to the CaptureLife app if you have it, or it'll take you to the App Store if you don't. But I just encourage you to experience and explore that just so you get a better sense of this firsthand once we send that out, probably about an hour after the webinar.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that up. I actually had made myself a note to say that same thing and didn't quite say it, so thank you. Okay, so another question that we've gotten here in the Q&A panel that we haven't yet addressed, asking if we have any stats on second orders from school and sports pictures.
Yeah, it's really interesting how we've been able to watch the reorder rate. There's a lot of factors that go into this. One is the quality of the photography. We've seen some very good photography from school photographers who get significantly higher reorder rates than others. Same thing with sports, like action sports photography gets a higher reorder rate than school or just portrait photography. I think that the thing you have to realize is that all that there's two factors. One, if people just bought a lot of prints, they're not that likely to reorder prints immediately. That's kind of common sense. But the biggest thing that impacts reorder rates, which I've seen it can produce 10% or more depending on the scenario, is when you market it the right way or explain it the right way, and the parents understand that when I buy this from this photographer, I'm going to get it here, and it's building on a timeline. That's where we see the best reorder rates happen. And like TW mentioned, he's here to help, and we can help you learn how to talk to your customers and get them ready for this.
Oh, we had another question that I just lost here on my panel. Here, let me bring it back here. Here we go. How do you handle speculative sports action photos where you post all the photos of a game or event for parents to see before ordering, and you have pre-ordering or no contact info?
Yeah, so this is something that CaptureLife does, although it would be through a relationship outside of the Miller's ordering system that we could definitely explain and talk with you offline. But CaptureLife is a platform, does many things around commerce, especially those scenarios where you're on site at an event and action photography related. It's kind of out of the scope of this webinar, but if you reach directly out to TW, we can definitely talk you through that.
So this has come up several. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
One more teaser on that, just to explain. So it all works through text message back and forth. And in that scenario, a person gets a code, and they can text that code to a number, and then they receive the ability to see all the images from an album at an action event, and you can watermark things and do all kinds of commerce things around that. So sorry, Paul.
No, it's all good. This is a question that's come up several times here in the questions panel from attendees who are asking about pricing in the MPix print store, what pricing the customer sees, if the photographer has the ability to set their own pricing, and questions that are along those lines. So I want to make sure that I address that. So the way that it works is a customer of yours who goes into the MPix print store will see MPix pricing. Unfortunately, right now, there's no way for you to set your own pricing and create the full white labeled experience like that. So the prices that your customers are going to see in the MPix print store will be MPix published prices. Okay, Jeff and TW, question for you guys, says, I've always wondered if a customer gets a digital file, does the order rate go down? So many people seem to be happy with only a digital copy and don't even want prints if they have the digital in some cases. Curious if you have any data on this scenario.
Well, I'll let TW answer that from his experience. But my response to that, as someone who hasn't owned a photography business, is that it's totally in your control. I mean, you get to set that minimum price that you're willing to achieve or that you need to achieve. So as long as you package your prices and forms correctly, I mean, to the point that you protect yourself, I don't think that should be a concern. But maybe TW, you want to elaborate.
I agree with Jeff, and that's why on those forums we looked at the baseline price for a digital delivery. It helped us to establish what the value was for digital delivery, so they could break it down in packages. But what it also does is it establishes a price that it costs money to send a photographer out to an athletic field. It costs money to take that back into a lab or send it to Miller's and have it color corrected and processed. So photographers still need to collect that money. Photographers still need to do the job of capturing a spectacular image, and parents will pay the money for that image.
Okay, so we had a couple of questions that were along these lines. One specifically said, with the sports, does it work with packages? I design my own memory mates, so how does that work? So yes, it does work with packages, and you can add this as an a la carte item while you're ordering your packages. The example that I showed in the slide that showed Miller's Remote Suite Plus, you'll upload your image that you want to be shared into that, basically into that product, into that CaptureLife digital delivery product. So if you wanted to have a fully designed memory mate, for example, delivered to a customer, you could drop it in there. But if you just wanted the image of the subject delivered, so the image that you used in the memory mate but not the full design, you would just want to drop the image rather than the full design into that image node. Okay, here's a question about the order form that you showed in an earlier slide, TW. It says, how do we add the CaptureLife logo to our order forms? Do you have that available? So what's the best way for attendees to go about getting the CaptureLife logo and adding that to their order form?
That's wonderful. If you could reach out to me directly at my email address, tw@capturelife.com, I'd be happy to get you those files and help you get them placed on the order form.
And Paul, what we can do is we can give you access, and I don't know if you have a resource center or so forth. We can talk about this offline. But any assets like that that are helpful to people from a marketing standpoint, we have developed, and they can get them through TW, but we can also make them available to you, Paul.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'll be happy to share that with anybody who is interested in having that as well, so they can add it to their order forms and update accordingly. Here's a question about the mobile CaptureLife timeline. It says it looks like the mobile app is co-branded with the photographer's info, but is the web app version with the CaptureLife timeline also co-branded?
Yes, it was. I may not have opened up the images quite the same way, but when you go into a story album, you would see the brand just like you see it in mobile.
Another question about the commission rate, the 10% commission that I was talking about earlier. The question is it a 10% commission rate on gross sales or net sales? So you get a 10% commission on the purchase price. So if it is a sale that MPix happens to be running at the time, a promotion like what we saw in the demo earlier with Jeff going through the app, if there happens to be a promotion that runs at the current time of the purchase and the customer takes advantage of that sale in their purchase, you get 10% of the sale price. We've had a couple of people who are asking for us to repeat contact information. So Jeff, TW, I'll let you guys both repeat your email addresses, and then I can give mine as well so that everybody has quick access to those.
Yeah, so this is TW. My email address is simply tw@capturelife.com, and Jeff's email address is jeff@capturelife.com.
And you see my email up on the screen right now. Mine is paulr@millerslab.com. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of us. All three of us are very, very happy to help, and interested to get you more info on how this can help your business if you're interested in implementing it as a part of your workflow. We've also had a few things that have come in that are kind of special situations and questions that are around those. So I'd like to address those individually with the people who've asked those. So if you've asked questions and they've not been addressed either in the questions panel or over the webinar here, I will follow up with you off of outside of this webinar, and I'll follow up with you individually, and we can talk through some of those. Jeff, TW, is there anything else that you'd like to address before we wrap this thing up?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for their time, and then remind you again, be on the lookout for an email with a link, or email from CaptureLife with the sample order for you to experience this. And again, try to open that from your mobile device as opposed to the computer if you want to experience the mobile app version.
And this is TW. From my end, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to find out how you're incorporating CaptureLife into your order forms. I'd love to field any questions you might have and assist in any way that I can. So please do feel free to reach out.
And the same goes for me. If you've got questions on the Miller side, don't hesitate to let me know. You can reach me at paulr@millerslab.com. I so appreciate all the time that you spent with us today learning more about CaptureLife and how it's integrated with Miller's and how digital delivery through CaptureLife and Miller's could become a part of your sports and events and schools offerings. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to have a recorded version of this webinar if you missed any of it, or if you want to go back and watch it again, we'll have a recorded version available on our YouTube channel shortly. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.